Praise God, bro.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
What's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Hope everybody is having a great day, a great victory Monday. The New Orleans Saints getting it done, knocking off the world champion Kansas City Chiefs in exhibition play by the score of 26-24. And it's time for us to put that nail in the coffin and move past week one, focus on week two. But of course, like we do every single year, we always do the final thought episode of the State of the Saints podcast. I've done a few episodes before this, put out a few videos. So if you haven't checked them out, make sure you do so. And if you didn't hit that like button by now, please do that as well. And if you didn't hit that subscription button, hit that as well also. We're going to be talking about what happened in this game. Going to be taking some of your phone calls. It's going to be a pretty quick show. Not going to be on too long, but I did want to go live so I can hear what people have to say, as far as what they saw yesterday with the game. I like the game. I enjoyed it. Of course, the first quarter was something that was magical. It brought me back to 2012 when the Saints were one of the most efficient offenses in NFL history. Derek Carr was as advertised. Jameis Winston, he did his thing as well. A.T. Perry really stepping up. And you had so many other young guys trying to do what they can to, get those starting spots, get a spot on a roster. So many great things, man. So we're going to be talking about that. But the first thing that I want to address from the bottom of my heart, man, this is the first time I actually went live since we went over 10,000 subscribers. And I apologize if you hear the thunder in the background. It's raining here in Myrtle Beach. But from the bottom of my heart, man, I want to say thank you to everybody that has ever hit that subscription button. When I started this podcast back in 2018, I never thought in my wildest dreams that it would have grown to what it has become. This is a podcast. We don't have corporate backing. We ain't one of those people that, got all these different sophisticated things going on. And I was just, a guy that just loved the New Orleans Saints and passionate about my hometown team. And, on a very frustrating Sunday afternoon after the Saints got blew out by Ryan Fitzpatrick-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At the time, I went to the radio station that was right around the corner from where I was staying at the time. And I recorded the first episode of the State of the Saints podcast. And we are probably about 1,000 episodes later. And we're still going. So thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. I didn't mean to sound long-winded, but I just want to say I appreciate it, man, because, you all could have chose somebody else to subscribe to believe in. But, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. But let's go ahead and get into it. The game yesterday, once again, offensively was spectacular. Derek Carr looked good. 6 of 8, 70 yards. QBR of about 140.6, if I'm not mistaken. He had a touchdown pass to Keith Kirkwood. Jameis Winston had a QBR of 120, threw a touchdown. You have Jake Hayner out there, also threw a touchdown to Ellis Merriweather late in the game, probably deep into the game, almost in the fourth quarter where they needed it most. All quarterbacks really pretty much showed up. You can pick and choose like some of the things that you saw as far as, what they need to improve on. I mean, we know about Jameis, taking the 3 sacks, and Jake Hayner, first couple passes looked a little bit erratic, but nevertheless, both guys composed themselves and they put forth really good performances. The running backs, Kendre Miller, played pretty decent. I know some people say that, he didn't do too much anything, but, I just think that, he was coming off a knee injury, coming out of college football playoff. He hurt himself in a game, the semifinals. And, he wasn't really taking part in any of those activities. And I really feel like maybe he wasn't fully 100%. But, of course, if you're close to 100%, you're going to play, especially when you're young and you're a third-round pick and you're trying to prove yourself. But, Ellis Merriweather did a really good job. I think he was awesome in this game, man. He came out of absolutely nowhere, giving me Pierre Thomas-type vibes, a guy that nobody actually thought would do anything, but goes out there and he performs well. So nothing but respect for a guy like that, the guy that's pulling himself up by his bootstraps and handling his business. And they're going to need that type of help. And we all know that the Saints signed running back Darrell Williams today, former LSU Tiger. And I'm excited about that as well, man. I mean, he was a guy that the Saints had on their radar last year. There were talks about him actually going to the Saints, but of course, I think he ended up going to the Cardinals. And, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to be on my soapbox real quick. So I'll just ask that everybody just kind of bear with me. Bear with me for a second because this needs to be said. Darrell Williams is a native of New Orleans. He's from Marrero, Louisiana. He went to LSU. Tyrann Mathieu, he went to LSU. Foster Moreau, he went to LSU. Even last year, Jarvis Landry went to LSU. I say that to say this. I believe wholeheartedly that Sean Payton did not like LSU players. And this pretty much confirms it. Because here's the question. If it was a joint decision not to bring in LSU players, tell me why Mickey Loomis is still the general manager, but he decides to bring in LSU players after Sean Payton left. This pretty much confirms this, that Sean Payton did not like LSU players. Plain and simple. We knew this before, but now it's pretty apparent that he did not like LSU players for some apparent reason. He rather go, in the Big Ten where he's from and all that kind of stuff like that. But you had great players right around the corner from you for years. And we've seen these LSU Tigers go to different places and perform at all pro levels. You have seen these guys. If you haven't seen these guys, I'm talking Sean Payton, then something is seriously wrong with you because you're only an hour and 30 minutes at the time from Baton Rouge. So how is it that all of a sudden Sean Payton leaves and the New Orleans Saints just all of a sudden just start getting LSU players? I am going to say this. No disrespect to Ohio State. The players that have come to the New Orleans Saints from Ohio State have been really, really good. But we all know when it comes to really good players, when it comes to all pros, the Pat Petersons, the Joe Burrows, come on, man, the Jamar Chases, the Justin Jeffersons, all these different guys that came from LSU that have performed at a high level. You don't have time for them. And for me, that tells me that dude was on a power trip. Seriously, I think dude was on a power trip. Now, be that as it may, he's the greatest coach that the New Orleans Saints ever had. And towards the tail end of his coaching career, he ran it like he knew that he was invincible. That he knew that the only way that he would get kicked out of New Orleans is by him leaving. Thus, him leaving. But let's just call a spade a spade. The dude did not like LSU players. He did not want to draft LSU players. Now, you can make this theory about maybe the guys being close to home and it may be affecting them, but I mean, we see Tyrann Mathieu out there, leader. We see, all these other players, the Jarvis Landrys when he was here, leader. Foster Moreau, leader. So this whole theory about guys being close to home and all that kind of stuff there, they can't focus because they're around their familiar surroundings is a bunch of BS. All right. It's absolutely BS. But the dude really set the team back by not bringing some of these key guys here. And Darrell Williams is another guy that the Saints added from LSU. He provides a running in between the tackles, catching the ball out of the backfield. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen him perform when the Kansas City Chiefs won their first Super Bowl ever. I mean, you can make an argument that he should have been MVP of that game. I mean, he was absolutely awesome. And the Saints are going to need him going forward because we know about the 3-game suspension of Alvin Kamara. You got Jamal Williams, and you got, some of these other guys, but we don't know the severity of the injury that Kendre Miller sustained. We understand that it's a minor knee injury, which is a good thing. It won't require surgery, but I don't expect for him, to be at 100% even when he can come back. So you're looking at guys like Darrell Williams, and it's good that you had a little bit of burst when it came to the running back position from Ellis Merriweather. So the New Orleans Saints, they're trying to build a team, man, and they're trying to make sure that no stone is left unturned. And I got appreciation for that, but let's just call a spade a spade. The reason why LSU players were not in the building in New Orleans is solely on Sean Payton. They can no longer deny that. They can sit up there and make it seem like, it's just the way that it is. No, it's not, man. Stop blowing smoke up our ass. We understand what's going on here. The dude didn't like LSU players, so it is what it is. But I'm glad that the guys are there now. Let me go ahead and read some of these comments. Then we're going to get into some sound bites. Then I'll take some phone calls, and then we'll get up out of here. How's that sound? All right, let's get it to it. All right, let's see. We got Hootie Who Jones. What's going on, man? What's happening? Appreciate you being here. Much love to you. Says TJ, take a deep breath and relax. We all agree with you. Look, it's not about taking a deep breath. First off, I got a lot of energy right now. All right. I took a month off from doing this podcast, and now I got some really, I'm energetic. All right. I'm fired up because it's the season. It's the 2023 season. I want you to understand that. The season is here, man. For 6 months, we've been sitting around waiting for these moments. The bad taste in the mouth of the Who Dat Nation because of what happened in the Carolina Panthers game in the final game of the season. We had to keep that on our lips for 6 months. And finally, we get a game where we see remnants of the old New Orleans Saints, the old New Orleans Saints that we love so dear. So I'm fired up, man. I'm excited. I'm fired up. And it is what it is, man. I came to bring it. And I'm asking anybody that calls in, make sure that you bring it too. All right. Bring that energy. That's what we need up in here, man. We don't need no cold motors up in here. We don't need no cold motors when it comes to the field, and we don't need no cold motors when it comes to, this show. No cold motors. All right. Hashtag no cold motors. If you feel what I'm saying right now, put hashtag no cold motors in the chat right now. Scrolling back up, we got, says Merriweather looks better than Kendre, even if it's one game. Hope Kendre gets healthy and proves what he was drafted for. Look, man, I'm not trying to go and blow things out of proportion because of one game. And I'm asking everybody else not to do that. But, some fans, they can't help themselves. I'm not saying you. Look, get in where you fit in. Some fans just can't help themselves. If they see a guy getting drafted, all of a sudden, if the guy takes the field in week 1 and he don't run for 200 yards, then all of a sudden, like he just terrible and we just wasted a draft pick. I mean, the impatience of some of you Saints fans is incredible. But anyway, there's a difference between evaluating guys based on what you actually see, that are, in preseason play, for example. Like, that guys aren't really going that hard in preseason because they're trying to hold themselves for, the regular season. But when when you got opportunity to make a tackle and you don't make the tackle, or you have opportunity to rush and you're not showing that level of aggression, that's when I feel like there's an issue. When you look at Kendre Miller, if you go back and see, the dude was trying to run in between the tackles and he was fighting for extra yards. But the thing about it is, how good do you expect a guy to be when he's playing with second and third string offensive linemen? Think about this. The first team always gets the main reps. They always get the main reps. They get the majority of the reps. So when they're like second team, third team, think about this. These guys are not really getting their chemistry together, right? Because most of the reps are going to the first team. And those guys are on the sidelines looking, trying to get some mental reps. So what do you expect for him to do? I mean, what do you want to be, Earl Campbell or something like that and break about 20, 30 tackles on a second and third string line with a bunch of inexperienced guys that eventually some of them are probably going to be working at your local workout center. Seriously. So I'm not going to jump to conclusions when it comes to Kendre Miller's performance, especially when he's at a dependable position. His ability to be able to run is solely on the offensive line, right? Think about this. It's different. When you look at a defensive lineman, right? It's not a dependable position. It's not. It's man versus man. It's offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. And his job is to push that offensive lineman out the way to get to the quarterback. It's different versus the running back who isn't going to do anything if his offensive line isn't blocking for him. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He might beat somebody on the edge or something like that if a play is blown or something like that. But it's a dependable position. So you could chunk it up solely for the fact that this dude really didn't have offensive line that was playing well. A bunch of, reserves. So I'm not going to blame that guy for that. TJ, I've been saying that about Sean Payton. LSU is literally in our backyard, and he would pass up great talent and both sides of the ball. Forget Sean Payton with his arrogant ass. Look, I'm not going to forget Sean Payton. Sean Payton is the greatest New Orleans Saints coach that they ever had, period. Like, we can get upset with Sean Payton all you want to, but the reason why this show exists, the reason why a lot of you are fans today, because a lot of you are young, y'all don't remember the days when the Saints were absolute slow. Your feelings, those emotions, that passion, that ability to be able to project that energy and to talk to these Falcon fans and Panthers fans and Bucks fans about how you feel about this team comes from Sean Payton. So I'm not going to say that Sean Payton, forget him. I'm just saying what's relatively obvious here. The dude did not like LSU players. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if I'm offending anybody. I don't at this particular point, I don't even think it's an assumption. For real. I don't even think it's alleged at this point. How is it that this guy leaves, right? And for some, we all know that coaches and GMs supposed to work together, right? Find players and all that, right? So how is it that the GM is still here? The head coach that they had is gone. The issue that we had when it came to the Saints not getting LSU players, now all of a sudden, we're getting LSU players? Come on, man. What's the one common denominator here? It's not Mickey Loomis. It's Sean Payton. So maybe Mickey Loomis wanted LSU players the whole damn time. But, of course, he wanted to appease Sean Payton because, Sean Payton, he's a successful coach. He won a lot. He's the greatest coach the Saints ever had. So we don't want to make him upset. So he leaves, but he ends up leaving anyway. And, don't even get me started on that. But I still got respect for Sean Payton, even though I think he's full of ish. Let's see. Fournette was signed by Jacksonville as a first-round draft choice. What perhaps was more egregious was when Sean Payton then signed him during the season before Tampa got him. We needed a running back then. Yeah, I mean, you think about guys like Patrick Queen who did an interview and he talked about, I knew I wasn't going to go to the Saints because they don't draft LSU players. And we've heard these guys. And for him to say that, it tells me that they already understand what we already been saying for quite some time. But, I'm just glad that these guys are now coming in, getting some of that home cooking. And, I just think that it's a good move. And it's not just the fact that these guys are from Louisiana, right? It's the fact that these guys can play and they from Louisiana. It's not like, we doing a victory lap and, hey, you from Louisiana, boy, let's sign them. And you on, you on the back end of your career. Nah, these guys still have something to offer, and it's good to see these guys getting the opportunity. And I honestly feel like they'll turn up even more. You're around your family members, your friends. You know what this team means, literally. You're not just a draft pick coming in. Like, you understood the highs and the lows. You had the conversations at the barbershops. You heard at the family reunions and barbecues, when Drew Brees won a game and how it made people feel. And you know for a fact when you get on the field, that responsibility that you carry. And it's different. It weighs different, man. It's different, man. Look, you can be a really good person and you can give to people out in the streets and in an area. And, you might go hard with your humanitarian, being a humanitarian. But when it comes to your family, like, you're going to go extra hard. You're going to grind extra hard because those are some of the most important people to you. Thus, how I feel about these new Louisiana LSU players playing for the Saints. Simple. It's just that simple. But I got a few sound bites that I want to play, a few clips here. We talked a little bit about preseason week 1. Dennis Allen, spoke to the media a little bit about the players, right? We got excited about the first team being out there on the field, how they drove down the field. I mean, straight up efficient, really, really good. And we know that a lot of that had to do with these guys being healthy. I mean, you think about Michael Thomas being out there, Juwan Johnson being out there. Man, you got Foster Moreau out there. You got Alvin Kamara. These guys are healthy, and they're a well-oiled machine when they are healthy. And Dennis Allen talked a little bit about having those starters at his disposal.
Look, yeah, I mean, I think really on both sides of the ball, when we've had, all of our guys out there, I think it's been a highly competitive situation. And so yeah, I would say, we operated pretty well when we had our, basically our starting 11 out there. So really on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, so as you can see, man, I mean, things work when you got all your starters out there. And, as long as these guys can stay healthy, we know what they're capable of. We know what Michael Thomas can do. We know what Alvin Kamara can do. We know what Juwan Johnson can do, and so many of these other guys. But we know that you can't play the game on paper. Like, you have to win the battle of attrition. And the New Orleans Saints haven't won that battle. So hopefully the Saints can have a little bit of luck on their side. But I also like what the Saints are doing, because they're learning from these mistakes. They're learning from these errors, these conflomas, if you will. They're learning that you can't wait around and wait for a guy to get healthy. And they don't want that drop off. Like, of course, there's going to be a drop off between a number 1 and a number 2, right? A first team and a second team, there's a drop off. We all understand that. But you want to try to limit that as much as possible. That's why the New Orleans Saints are bringing guys that have made plays. Like James Washington has made plays. Brian Edwards has made plays. A.T. Perry at Wake Forest has made plays. It's like, so they're bringing in guys that can make plays and also be able to step up in the absence of starters. So I like what the New Orleans Saints are doing. But if these starters can stay healthy, this is going to be a very, very dangerous team, especially if their offensive line stays healthy. That's the most important thing. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next soundbite. This comes from Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston came in as the backup, of course, came in and threw a dime, a 29-yard touchdown to rookie A.T. Perry, who has been on the lips of all Saints fans throughout camp. There was some things that, been going on with A.T. Perry, some ups and downs, but it seems like he got it all together, especially for this game. And Jameis Winston talked a little bit about what he sees in A.T. Perry.
I just think he's a big target. He has a great release game. He has strong hands.
So just that pass, like you just put it right in the window, and you just trying to put it just right over the DB.
Yeah, he undercut it, and AT set a great angle and made a great play on the ball and got in the end zone. That's the most important part. He got in the end zone.
Yeah. So, man, you look at Jameis Winston, man, he's excited about it, and he's excited about A.T. Perry. And this guy is special. I don't know if you watched him at Wake Forest, but, I mean, there's a highlight reel that's a mile long because this guy has all the wide receiver records at Wake Forest University. He's a guy that, catches pretty much everything. He's a guy that's a competitor. He gives you all the things that you need. And, if this guy can pan out and he can replicate some of the things that we've seen in his first game, the Saints can be very, very dangerous, and he can be a very, very dangerous wide receiver. So he really elevated himself to that spot. And I'm serious, man. Like, I know we're looking at Rashid Shaheed, but the injury that he sustained and dealing with the injuries, I mean, A.T. Perry is making some noise. And the way that he's playing right now, he might end up being that number 3 receiver. Seriously. Like no disrespect to Rashid Shaheed. I know he got that speed. He's electrifying and stuff like that. And the Saints still got a place for him. But A.T. Perry, if he can replicate this, and he's looking like he did at Wake Forest, he's going to be a very, very dangerous receiver. Finally, let's talk a little bit about Derek Carr. We mentioned he had a one series. He went 6 of 8 for 70 yards and had a really high QBR. But, Derek Carr is ready to turn the page in his career. I think he has a bad taste in his mouth the way things transpired towards the end in Las Vegas. And now he's ready to embrace this new challenge. He's in a new place, and he's trying to, he has a huge chip on his shoulder. And, Derek Carr talked to the media after the game about, his experience and everything that happened in his series, that led the Saints down the field for their first touchdown.
It felt good. Felt efficient. It was nice to get a couple of situations in there, get third down, get some red zone and all that stuff. Because, they don't tell us, like, how much we're going to play and all that. So to get a couple of situations in there and then, throughout the game to talk through things with Pete and certain situations and things like that in a game time scenario. It was good. It was a lot of fun. Love being on this side of things in the dome. I can get used to this place. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so Derek Carr being very, very humble and also just kind of, excited about embracing this challenge. And look, Derek Carr is a really good quarterback. Derek Carr, if you're not excited about what that offense could be after what you've seen in week 1, like, you got this issue with Derek Carr that, that's just blinding you from seeing what actually could possibly be. I don't care who the quarterback is. I'm serious. I do not care who the quarterback is. As long as the guy can come in and perform well at a high level, and it looks like Derek Carr is doing that. So sorry. I know that some of you, as cruel as this is, some of y'all hoping that the bottom fall out so your boy Jameis Winston can come in. Look, I ain't even going to get into that. All I know is the dude looks really, really good. And there's a difference when he's on the field. Like, you may not want to admit it, but there's a difference when he's on the field. Those guys respond to him. And there's something about him that these players feel like can take them to the next level. So just want to put that out there. But let's go ahead and go to the phone lines. We'll go to Josh. Josh, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, TJ? How's it going, man?
Man, it's going just fine, man. I'm excited about being here, man. First game of preseason. Saints get that victory in thrilling fashion, man. So how you doing?
Pretty good, man. Still, working on this whole weight loss and getting healthier thing. Hey, by the way, I've got more really, really good health news. Can I spit that out quick?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Knock yourself out.
Okay. So I noticed that all my back fat is gone. Like, when I was super obese, I almost had like another flabby chest in my back. You know what I mean? In my upper back. As you've ever seen real obese people like that? It's almost like they got a secondary flabby chest back there.
Right.
That's all gone now.
Man, that's good, man. Just keep it up.
And another big thing too, I had yellowing in my eyes for like 2 or 3 years because my liver wasn't the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
And that yellowing is now gone too.
Yeah, that's good, man.
That's
it's a
huge deal.
It's amazing how things can happen, man, when you start working out, and I definitely understand that, man, because, I was, when I was taking some time off, man, I went to the gym like every day. I lost like 25 pounds. So, man.
Yeah, you do look smaller. You do look smaller.
Yeah, man. So, I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life, man. I feel stronger. I probably ain't been this small since I was like in college or something like that, man. But I'm enjoying it, man, and I can feel a difference. So I'm proud of you, man, and been keeping up with your journey as well. And, I encourage everybody to check it out. I mean, I know you've been documenting your journey and what you actually been through. So definitely want people to check that out. But what do you think? What do you think about the preseason game, man? Week 1.
Okay, so I'm gonna make 3 quick points with this phone call, okay, and I'll try to make them all really quick. Well, 2 are really quick, but there's one I want to harp on. That's that third one.
Right.
But okay, the first thing I want to say is you're probably going to disagree with this, but no matter what happens this year, we shouldn't fire Dennis Allen. What we should do is demote him back to DC. And I know I've said this before, but I really want to harp on this because even if Dennis Allen goes 0-17 this year, the fact is he is still a top 5 defensive coordinator in this league. DCs like him don't come along very often. Right. So running him out of town and trying to find a new DC that's anywhere near as good as him is very, very unlikely to happen. So if Dennis Allen bombs this year, don't fire him. Just demote him back to DC, pay him whatever he wants to be DC, and get a new head coach. So I'll let you respond to that, but that's just how I feel about that.
Well, look, I have no problem with that, but the chances of that happening are slim to none. Nobody wants to be around, a team where they felt like, you're not good enough to be our head coach. So if the Saints were to fire Dennis Allen, he's leaving. Now, who knows, like something might happen. He might find his way back to New Orleans, but it's not happening. Like if the Saints fire him, they lose everything that comes with them. And they're going to have to be willing to accept a turnover. It's just that simple, man. I don't see that happening. I mean, I think that Dennis Allen is a prideful guy. I think that Dennis Allen is a competitor. And I think even though, even if the Saints were to tell him that in his heart of hearts, he still feels like he can be a head coach. So
yeah, but nobody's going to give him a head coaching opportunity anyway. So, I mean, like if he bombs it here.
No, they won't, but they'll give him a defensive coordinator job. And I know you're saying that the Saints will do it too, but man, this guy's not going to stick around here knowing that the team feels like he's not good enough to lead the team. So I don't see that happening. I see him going to be a defensive coordinator somewhere else and him willing to accept that, but it won't be in New Orleans.
Okay, well, I'll move on to my next point then, and this will be just really quick about Derek Carr. Mm-hmm. He looked really good out there. And I know it's preseason and all that, but he's showing that accuracy and zip that he's so well known for. And whether it's preseason or real season, accuracy and zip is accuracy and zip. Okay.
Right.
Accuracy is the same whether you're in preseason or not. He zips balls into places that few people can. And he showed that off. And so he's ready to take us as far as we can possibly go this year, man. I got all the confidence in the world in him. You know how I feel about him.
Yeah.
And he's elite. I don't care what anybody says. So as long as he does not get hurt, he'll lead us somewhere, maybe to a Super Bowl within a couple of years. I don't think this year, but maybe within a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, look, I have to disagree with you. I don't think that Derek Carr is elite yet. You know what I'm saying? Like if he puts forward, like if he can go out there and do this consistently, like what we saw in week 1, then I think that he will. Like, I think people respect his game. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you look at like most of the talking heads, the ones that ain't just trying to, give you hot takes, they'll tell you, that this guy is a special player. And, they give him, they give him the benefit of the doubt of being in Vegas. But I think that he has to put together a season that has him in an MVP conversation. He has to prove that he can actually make the playoffs. Like, people aren't going to just give you the title of elite. You got to prove it. And he has all the skills. I agree with you on that, Josh. But we all know, man, a lot of talented quarterbacks have come into the league, but they haven't won nothing. And it's good. They will always get that moniker of good, but not great. But he has a chance to do it.
Who's better than him in the whole NFC right now? I mean, you could say Jalen Hurts if you add Jalen Hurts' running game to it, but I don't think Jalen Hurts is a better pure quarterback than Carr.
I mean, as far as a passer of the football, no. As far as his athletic ability along with the passing, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, as a pure quarterback, I think Carr is the best the NFC has to offer. And I know the NFC isn't exactly loaded with quarterbacks,
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's not saying much. Seriously,
I know, but
that's like saying I'm the best.
But we're
basketball
playing in the
player.
NFC though.
Yeah.
We're playing in the NFC until we hit the the Super Bowl if we get there.
Yeah, but I mean, that's true, but that's not saying anything. Like, I'm serious. That's like saying I'm the best basketball player and I'm playing with a bunch of preschoolers or something. I'm playing with kids past that age. Like, what am I really saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only a few people. Like, since Aaron Rodgers is gone and Tom Brady is no longer here and Drew Brees is retired, like, there's a changing of the guards. So you have a lot of guys in the NFC trying to prove themselves and trying to elevate their game. And who knows? Probably none of those guys are be, the future of their franchises or whatever. And yes, it is a huge drop off between Jalen Hurts and Derek Carr. But like, you're basically just giving him this trophy, because he's just the best out of, I don't know, some very mediocre quarterback. So once again, like he has to prove it. He has to prove, like,
yeah, I agree. I agree.
He's good. And if he can lead the Saints deep into the playoffs, I think people will start giving him that moniker of being elite. It's just that simple.
So I want to get into my final point here. This is my most important point, I think, here, TJ. What have I been saying about the Saints running game for the last 2 years? I've been saying that we need a big running back, at least 240 pounds, to offset what guys like Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams do.
Right.
Now we finally got one.
Yep.
In Adam Prentice.
Prentice.
Let me go somewhere with this, okay? I don't think you think
you got to go with. You said Adam Prentice.
Yeah.
Oh man, come on. Okay, I'm gonna let.
Here's what I think of Adam Prentice. Okay.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be a superstar. I don't think he's going. I think if you start him a lot, he'll probably only average, like 3 yards per carry.
Okay.
But he'll get you 3 yards every single time. And 2 plays with 3 yards apiece gets you into a 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
And he can wear down a defense with his size. So
right.
I think that we should honestly make him a part of this game. He's so big, so strong. I mean, like I said, he's not going to be a superstar. He's not going to bust out, 90-yard runs or whatever. But he can move some defensive linemen back and get you 2-3 yards every time. 2-3 yards is 2-3 yards. And that can wear the defenses down for guys like Kamara and Jamal Williams. So I do think that we should, now that we finally got a sizable guy, we should actually use him. I don't know why anybody would disagree with that, but I'll let you respond.
Well, the reason why is, you already have, no disrespect to Adam Prentice. I like him. He's a really good fullback. But you have guys with size. Like I mentioned Ellis Merriweather at the beginning of the podcast. He's 6'2", 225 pounds. Jamal Williams is like 6 feet, 230 pounds. You got Alvin Kamara like 215 pounds. And now you got Darrell Williams coming in. He's 225 pounds.
But there's a big difference between the 220s and 240s, TJ. 240s is actually a big back. 215 to 225.
What else can he do? What else can he do? Like you want this guy to lean forward with 3 yards in a cloud of dust when you have guys that can not only break tackles, they can make people miss and make them hit their head on it.
I'm not saying make Adam Prentice our main starter. I'm not saying that. I'm saying make as much use out of him as you possibly can is what I'm saying. I think there's a use for him in the running back mix. So I think what the Saints are probably planning on doing is basically not using him at all. And I don't think that's right. I think his size will get you 2 to 3 yards every time. So you can use him to help wear down defenses and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And use him to complement Kamara and Williams. That's all I'm trying to say.
Look, you can add a sprinkle of Adam Prentice into it, like maybe for like short yardage situations, 3rd and 1 or something like that. But like I do not believe that Adam Prentice should be playing over Jamal Williams. What you're saying is basically like, look, Jamal Williams led the NFL in rushing touchdowns. He also had a high conversion rate on short yardage situations. So what you're asking of Adam Prentice, you already have in Jamal Williams. Like Jamal Williams, the knock on him, to be honest, Josh, is the fact that everybody just feel like he is a short yardage back because most of his touchdowns came off 2 and 1 yard touchdowns. So what that tell you right there? The yards that you're asking Adam Prentice to get, Jamal Williams is capable of doing that. And he's a better athlete and a better player than Adam Prentice is. So why would you put Adam Prentice in that mix?
He is, but he's not necessarily – Jamal Williams isn't really like an every down back type of guy. But I feel like
given opportunity, he is. I mean, we've seen him when DeAndre Swift was injured, and he was injured quite a bit. Jamal Williams picked up the load. He always had a big run. He always, converted and short yardage situations, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. The reason why you haven't seen it that much, Josh, is because he was never the feature back because Aaron Jones in Green Bay, right? Is he going to start over Aaron Jones? Of course not. DeAndre Swift is a guy that they look at that can catch the ball kind of on some Kamara stuff. So the Lions not going to let him, pick him over DeAndre Swift when he was there. So given the opportunity, do I feel like he can catch the ball? Yeah. I mean, do I feel like he can run between the tackles? Absolutely. Look, I'm sorry, Josh, but I'm not putting.
No, I don't think you. I'm not putting him over Jamal Williams. I'm not putting him over Jamal Williams, TJ. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Right.
I'm saying, I don't know, how do I put this into words? Use him more often than other teams. Use Prentice more often than other teams think you're going to use him. Does that make sense?
Right. Well,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's fair. Like, I understand, like, adding them in to bulk up the running game, you know what I'm saying, be more physical. Yeah. Look, I completely understand that.
Because I think the Saints are just going to leave him on the sideline all year, and I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, look, based on what I see, what they have in the backfield and the guys' capabilities from the teams that they came from, the way they played, I mean, it's hard for me to pick Adam Prentice over any one of those guys, even if it is short yardage situations. Like, because you have a guy, like, to me, it's like if you have, I don't know, if you have like a machine that can do 3 and 4 different things, right? Yeah. And you have another machine that can do one of the things that this machine does. Which one you gonna use? You're gonna use the one that can do every single damn one. You're not gonna just pick that thing. Oh man, I want to do this. If you have like a multifaceted of things to do, so you have Jamal Williams who can, like I said, break tackles, run in between the tackles, catch the ball out of the backfield, and showed you that in short yardage situation he can get the job done. It's gonna be hard for Adam Prentice to hit the field, but he will be out there because he's a hell of a blocker, and and also in the passing situation. I do want them to get back to the John Kuhn days. You know what I'm talking about, like the, you know what I'm saying, like the guys who the you know what I'm saying, the Evans, the Heat Evans days where, Drew Brees would throw a pass to him in a red zone for a touchdown. I do feel like we need to get back to that, but to say, like we about to be selling number 46 jerseys left and right. I don't know.
No. I never. No, that's not what I was trying to get at all.
No, I know. I'm just saying, for us production, people want your jersey when you start being productive. That's all I was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna see a bunch of 46 jerseys and like John Rickens back in the day or something like that. But look, I do think there's a place for him, and he's on the team, man. The Saints always carry a fullback, so I think he's gonna be okay. But Josh, I got some more phone call. Well, I got Jerry waiting right now, man. So I want to say thank you for chiming in. Really do appreciate it, man. And like always, call back anytime, man.
Okay, I'll call back in 5 minutes. No, I'm just kidding, buddy.
All right, take care, man. Yeah, man. Look, I like Adam Prentice. I think Adam Prentice is a really good fullback, but it's gonna be hard for him to hit the field when you have guys that are capable of doing what he can do. But I don't think that you just need to like get rid of him or anything like that. I mean, I feel that way. But let's go ahead and go to Jerry. Jerry, how you doing, man?
How you doing, TJ?
Man, I'm doing fine, man. Hey, thank you for calling in, man. I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
I know you're excited. Well, I know you're excited because, ladies and gentlemen of the Who Dat Nation, our very own Mr. TJ Jones, the host.
Yes, sir.
Of the State of the Saints podcast, made a milestone, hitting 10,000 subscribers. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, TJ.
And that's why, that's why nobody can kill my vibe, man. That's what people don't understand, Jerry. When you work, I work my ass off. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm excited. I'm happy to do this show. It's a privilege to be able to talk to people like you and other Saints fans, rather it's them calling in or in the chat. man, I'm just extremely humbled to be in this position, man. So thank y'all for that, man. Thank you to everybody that subscribed to the channel, especially you, Jerry. You was here when we only had 4 subscribers, man. You was one of the 4. That's why, I always have a place in my heart for you, man, because you believed in me when this thing was, I ain't know what the hell was going on. But, you believed in this show, man, and I appreciate all the love over the years.
Yes, sir. And TJ, to show my support, I got a little something I want to share with you. You might recognize it.
Okay. Yes, sir. Hey. Hey. What Jerry has on for some of the newer listeners, that's the original version of the State of the Saints podcast logo. That was the original logo of the State of the Saints podcast. And Jerry, I think you won a competition or something like that, and I sent it to you if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, man. But
it was a Q&A, and I answered it.
Yeah, man. So, man, thank you for that, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for keeping.
It was what, 2020, I think.
Yeah, man. It had to be. It might have been 2019. It might have been like 2019 or something like that.
2019 or 2020.
Yeah, it was something like that, man. But
it was 2019.
Yeah, man. But nevertheless, man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, man, what you got to say as far as with these Saints, man? Week 1 preseason game, man. You got to be excited about that first team, man.
Oh, bro, I am excited, but I was just listening to a shout out to my guy Johnson Jesus, bro. But come on, bro. But seriously, Adam Prentice, bro. Seriously, really? Adam, dude, that dude is a fullback, Josh. Josh, I love you, brother, but dude, come on, bro. Lord have mercy, Jesus.
Hey,
Adam Prince?
Hey, y'all know how I roll, man. I'm one of them individuals. Jerry, I'm one of them people. And you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let people feel the way they feel. Like that, I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's like some people like, certain things. Some people feel like, but I will say this about Josh. I will defend him on this. And the Saints have went in this direction, Jerry. When he came on the show, I want to say maybe a couple months back, and he said that the Saints need to do what the 49ers doing, having 2 and 3 running backs, and using all 2 and 3. And it looks like that's what the Saints going to be doing this year, because it seems like they're adamant to have a stable of running back. So I give them credit on that one. I don't agree with the Adam Prentice thing. I do not. I do not.
Nah, bro. And look, and I was catching the episode earlier of that new segment that you did.
Yeah.
What players go up or down?
Yeah, man.
And I just gave you a bonus, bro.
Hey.
Adam Prentice.
Hey, Adam Prentice, man. Come on,
It's
man.
all dog around his mug.
Look, in the words of Big Boy of Outkast, boy, stop.
Hey, man. Hey.
Hey,
Adam Prentice, like I said, man. Look,
I feel bad
because Adam Prentice catches strays right now, man. He don't deserve that, man. He's a good fullback. I mean, I can remember a couple first downs off his legs, man. I ain't got no problem with that, man. But hey,
I ain't got no problem either. Bro.
Yeah, but at the same time, man, like if you're asking me to ensure your situation to put Adam Prentice in or Jamal Williams, I'm rolling with Jay Will, man. It's just that simple, man. What you think about? What you think about? Let me ask you this, Jerry. Let me ask you this while I got you on here.
What you got, bro?
All right, so Jameis Winston came into the game, right? The first series that he was out there, we knew he threw the 29-yard touchdown to A.T. Perry, right? And then he came out for a few more series, and then you start seeing 3 sacks. Now you got social media going crazy about, oh, man, he sucked. Jameis Winston is, quote unquote, excuse my French, ass. All these different things that people were saying, right? What are your thoughts on Jameis Winston's performance, man? Do you think people are blowing this thing out of proportion of, the sacks and stuff like that? What do you think?
Right. Dude, I love TJ. I love my Who That Nation to death. I wouldn't trade them for nobody. But
yeah, for real, man.
But on Jameis Winston, man, you got to cut the brother some slack, bro.
Man, yeah.
You look. Jameis gonna have his good days. Jameis gonna have his bad days, but he's still a good quarterback. I believe in this guy. I believe in this guy. I mean, when he became QB1 a couple of years ago, and we talked about this a couple of years ago, TJ.
Right.
That this guy was going to lead us to the next direction.
Yep.
But when he got injured, that low down, dirty, good for nothing Devin White. Don't think I forgot it.
2 years, Devin White signs with the New Orleans Saints.
To injure Jameis Winston.
We're gonna see Devin White in the Saints uniform the way things going.
Anyway, but on the real, TJ,
right?
Like I said, the dude is still a good quarterback. Like I said, he's gonna have his good days or bad days.
Right.
But the guy's he's just good. I mean, he loved this organization when he came in. The guy loves this organization. He done seen a lot of changes in Jameis Winston, bro.
Yep. And let me say this too, Jerry. You know, one thing Saints fans are supposed to love about players is their loyalty. I don't understand why these Saints fans hating on this dude, because they love loyalty. This dude had a choice to go to another team. He would have got signed by somebody else. Like suspend your imagination and think that this dude couldn't find another job. Miss me with that. Argue with your mama. This man decided to stay with exactly. This man decided to stay with the team, Jerry. This man decided to stay with the New Orleans Saints. Took a little bit of a pay cut in order for him to do it.
Yeah.
So anybody that's out here talking about this man, miss me with that, man. If you are about loyalty and a guy being a Saint through and through, he proved that. This man don't look at himself as a backup. So, man, to me, Jameis Winston, since he became a Saint, I had respect for him. I'm not into all that stuff that happened in the past. Everybody make mistakes in life. Yes, but when he came to the
everybody
New Orleans
not
Saints,
perfect.
Exactly. When this dude showed his loyalty to the New Orleans Saints and some of the things that he was doing in the locker room, this dude could have look, think about this. Marcus Mariota, even our quarterback right now, Derek Carr, both of them boys went home when they got benched. But Jameis Winston was on the sidelines. Put some respect on this dude's name. Cheering, clapping, helping dudes up, encouraging them when the team was down. The same dude that y'all out here repping for going hard. When he got benched for Jarrett Stidham or Nate Setfield or whatever the heck he got benched for, he went home. No disrespect to you, Derek. That's what you did. Marcus Mariota, when he got benched for Desmond Ridder in Atlanta, what he did, he went home. What did Jameis Winston do? This man was on the sideline in uniform.
In uniform.
Willing
to take scrutiny. Same thing. Yeah.
Bro, willing to take scrutiny. Straight up. And yet, y'all still sitting up here talking about this man loyalty and him as a quarterback. Man, miss me with that. Like I said, argue with your mama if you got something to say about this man. I got nothing but respect for this dude.
TJ, I've said this before, and I will say it again. And I love my Who Dat Nation. I love my Saints fan to death. Once again, I can't trade y'all for nobody.
Man.
But you got, and I said this in the past. I said it in different podcasts too. Shouts out to them too. You're going to have different types of Saints fans that will say one thing, oh, Jameis trash. The Saints fans going to say, you got another set that's going to say, oh, Jameis good. I mean,
couldn't throw a party for their mama, but they want to talk about this bad quarterback skills.
You got all types of Saints fans. You name it, you see them.
Man,
I don't care. Man, some that know football, some that don't know football, some that be drunk as hell. You name it.
My man said, they be drunk as hell.
Get your hand out of my pocket.
You see it, y'all see him. They be drinking beer and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I said it. Drunk as hell. I said it.
That man said drunk.
Look. It's the truth. It's the truth, TJ.
Oh man,
it's the truth. But Who Dat Nation? Y'all see it in your own eyes. We all see it. I see it too.
Mm-hmm.
And some that be calling in, and I'm talking about sloppy. Don't even know what to say.
Oh my goodness, man.
I love y'all too, bro.
Hey man, look, hey,
Bro.
you just keeping it real, man. But those fans that's sitting up here, man, like they don't even understand the hypocrisy that's coming out their lips. That's the thing. Like, man, you got a real quarterback now, Derek Carr. Like, no disrespect. Like I said, man, bro, I got nothing but respect for Derek Carr. I'm happy that he in New Orleans. But these boys, man, like, bro, Jameis, man, he ain't, man, I don't know. Like, man, this man is straight up loyal, real. Like, come on, man. Indeed. Like, this man is, like, think about this, man. This man was willing to sit on the sidelines, take the scrutiny. Like, we had people like Jameis 101. Mm-hmm. Hell, shouts out to Jameis Winston, daddy. Even him, like, man, things ain't what it seemed, man. Things ain't what it seemed. Man, this man was sitting on the sideline taking his scrutiny. Think about this. This man started off as the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, right? He started off as the starter, right. And this man is on the sidelines, right? Willing to take that. Why he's on the sideline? People like, well, I guess he wasn't good enough. And he was willing to absorb that. Derek Carr wasn't. Marcus Mariota wasn't. Man, come on, man.
Come on now.
Knock it off.
He ain't lying.
Knock it off, man. Jerry, you got anything? Bro, they got me hotter than fish grease up in here, man. What's wrong with these boys, man?
Look. Shout out to Miss Barbara. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Miss Barbara Williams. She said they ain't drunk. They drinking. They smoking water. And I got one comment I see vibing with the Johnsons. He said some Saints fans still want Andy. Andy Dalton gone. He in Carolina. He in Carolina right now. Look, he in Carolina right now.
Andy Dalton. Man, who want Andy Dalton? Please call the show. If you want Andy Dalton, I gotta clap like the girl. If you want Andy Dalton, please call the show and please tell me why. Please tell me why you want Andy Dalton. Call the show. That's what I want. Please call the show. Why you want Andy Dalton? I got hey, looking at my wrist, I got time today. Please, somebody call. If you want Andy Dalton to be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints at any time after this man exits stage left, please call the show. Please call. I would love to hear from you. As they say on them letters, please call. We would love to hear from you. Please.
Amen.
Man, you got to be out your freaking mind, man. But
on the real TJ, what I saw Sunday, I was really impressed that when Derek Carr first came out there and played his very first series as a Saints quarterback. I mean, look, I know it's preseason. Let's not get carried away. It don't count. It's like the first day of school.
Right.
You got new players, you got new coaches. I explained it to CB on the WDN chat line. Shout out to CB and
man, my boy CB, man. Hey man, much love to you, man.
Oh yeah, he killed it on Wednesday night with them fellas, bro. So shouts out to him. But on the real, the first offense out there, they look good out there.
Yeah,
with
man.
Carr and Kamara and Williams and Thomas and Juwan Johnson, Jimmy Graham, all those guys out there, they did well. But what really stood me out, what we just talked about earlier about Jameis Winston throwing that pass to A.T. Perry.
Yep.
That kid right there, I like him.
Man.
I like that kid. And him and Kurtwood. I like Perry, but bruh.
Yeah. Special. That dude can be special, man. Yeah. I'm telling when I saw him, this gonna sound crazy. No, I don't think it's gonna sound crazy. Dude remind me so much of Marcus Colston. Like almost like the way he run, the way he stretched out, like caught that pat. He looks like his mannerisms and everything. Like you put a 12 on it, you're like, man, Colston back. That's the way that dude look, man. I'm telling you, man. That dude can be something special, man.
That dude impressed me so much.
Man,
But
look
not
like
only
Coach
on the
Sanders.
offensive side, but then you got but what you think about Brian Breesy up in that front with
Oh yeah,
with Jordan, with Roach, with Saunders, bruh.
man.
Dude.
Man, Colin Sanders is a freak show. Like,
Yes,
man,
he
a
is.
couple of them, man, the athleticism of that dude. That dude is 324 pounds. Dude probably like a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle away from 330. And this dude is out here like just man, he a 220-pound guy or something. Like it's amazing, man. The athleticism of guys like Brazil and Saunders, man. Like they needed athletes on that line. And if these dudes stay healthy, freak, man, we can go back to them days when the Saints didn't allow 100-yard rushes, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
dude. I'm telling you, bro. I mean, and I say this all the time, big TJ.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the name Big fool you, especially when they're on that defensive front, because when Saunders was out there balling, him and Breesy, along with Jordan and Roach, bruh.
Man, them boys were getting after.
Don't let the name Big fool you. They can get around quick.
Yep. Yeah, man. Look, this is gonna be a dangerous team if they can stay healthy, man. This is gonna be a dangerous team. I'm serious. Like I don't normally like really jump to conclusions, but what I seen, bro, that wasn't an outlier. That was not an outlier. That is something that can be replicated week after week after week, as long as those dudes stay healthy. Like it's gonna be dangerous when you got Panthers fans and Bucks fans and Falcons fans up in the chair. Man, they act like the Saints won a Super Bowl, bro. They won a Super Bowl, man. I mean, it's preseason. Yeah. Nah, bro. Y'all see what's up? They know what's up, man. We've been getting their behinds whooped by Drew Brees for 15 years, and now they see Derek Carr, and they having flashbacks. Look, when you start talking about other people's team, and talk about, man, people hate, like, they got to you. And they know it. They know that the Saints have a recipe to be successful. And they know it. And it scares them. So it's going to be dangerous, man. These dudes stay healthy.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, TJ, this season is going to be a shockwave. We waited 6 months after that last Super Bowl. Shouts out to the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Shouts out to them. But we beat them on Sunday in preseason, so that matters.
Yep. I mean, look, that was the first. Look, Andy Reid, even though, there was no sophistication when it comes to the defense. It was pretty vanilla. But Andy Reid plays his starters. I said that before the game started. I said Andy Reid is going to play his starters. I didn't see Travis Kelce out there, but I see Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I seen reigning MVP, Patrick Mahomes out there. I seen Scott, Skylar Moore out there. I mean, those starters. So, and that was they starting offensive line, because you ain't about to put no backup offensive line in the game when you got the face of your franchise, the face of the league, and the Saints were still getting after it. So,
and look. And the thing about it, when I heard about Dennis Allen was starting all the starters,
right?
Andy Reid decided to do the same with him, with his team. So, but the starters of the New Orleans Saints, they really amazed me.
Yep.
With Derek Carr as our QB1, dude, this team is going to be very dangerous to deal with.
Yeah. It's gonna be a dangerous team as long as they stay healthy.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, but Jerry, thank you so much, man, for chiming in. I really do appreciate it, man. You already know the drill, man. You can call back anytime, man. Always great to chop it up with you.
Yes, sir. And always remember, we the ones.
We the ones, man. That's all they need to know. Appreciate that, Jerry, man. Have a good night.
All right. You too, TJ.
Yeah. Man, shouts out to Jerry, man. Look, I was trying to put a cap on 1 hour, right? I'm trying to do like this whole 1 hour thing. I have something to do after the show before I call it a night. I'm going to take one more phone call. All right. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. All right. So whoever gets there first gets the last phone call. So if you're number 2, I'm sorry. You're going to have to call back next time. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do it like that. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat. Ready, set, go. Whoever gets the link first gets in. That'll be the final phone call of the night. All right. In the meantime, let me go ahead and read some of these comments. I know people have been saying a lot of things, man. I apologize. I ain't really been focusing in on the chat. Let me turn this up a little bit. Yeah, I ain't got my glasses on. I'm like an OG. I ain't got my glasses on. I have to turn up. I have to illuminate. The camera screen. Says TJ. Let me see. You gotta drop that DA bad B walk to commemorate the 10,000 subscriber mark. Hey man, yeah. In the words of Schoolboy Q, you ain't saying nothing but a word. But let's go ahead and go to Slim South, man. I'm sorry, folks. I see a bunch of people chiming in, but Slim South will be the final call of the night, man. I'm sorry. We have to call back next show. Because like I said, I have something to do. But let's go ahead and go to Slim South. Slim, how you doing, man?
What's up, TJ? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. How you doing?
First of all, my brother, congrats on 10K. You're doing your thing and keep on going, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Hey, man, appreciate that, man. It's been a long journey, but man, we ain't done yet, man. We're trying to get to 100,000 over here. So, but appreciate you for that, man. You always been real supportive, man. Rather it's watching the show, social media, what have you, man. You always show love, man, and you always always willing to chime in about your thoughts on the team. So, what you thought about the game, man? What you thought about the game on yesterday?
Honestly, the first string, they came out, they was ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy to see. I ain't gonna lie to you. Derek Carr looks like he has a new lease on life, and he's happy. He's happy to be a Saint. Like he's just happy. He could breathe. He could just play football. He could be appreciated by a fan base in the city.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy for that. And he has some actual real talent around him. You know what I'm saying? Like he got some weapons. Even though, at running back, tight end, and receiver. So and plus he has a potential. I ain't gonna say potential. He has not great, but he has a good defense around him. Finally. Right. You know what I'm saying? So to give him some more opportunities, to give him the ball, give him some opportunity to do his thing. Right. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm happy for Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna get my hopes up too much. But Dennis Allen, he still has to show it. He still has to go out there and prove it that he could be a winning head coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, you know what I'm saying?
But look, not bad. Look, tell the truth, shame the devil, Slim South. Like for real, man. Like, look, man, we can't just be blinded by what we saw yesterday. You know, like, man, you still got to prove that he can like lead this team the way that a coach leads a team. And until that happens, it's well within every member of the Who Dat Nation's rights to bring up his spotty past as a head coach. That's fair.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact, TJ.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this, like, so far so good, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up too much. You know what I'm saying? Just one preseason game, Who Dat Nation. But however, no excuses. He has a lot of talent.
No.
He has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And you know what, TJ, man? Look.
Who's that?
On paper, Who Dat Nation, we should be in the playoffs.
Yep.
On paper, we should be in the playoffs.
Yep.
But however, they got to do it on the field. They got to prove it. They got to show us. And shout out to Derek Carr, man. I'm happy for the brother, and keep things going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Look,
I just want this team to win. I'm tired of watching potential just get squandered year after year after year. You're wasting the prime years of Lattimore. You're wasting the prime years of Kamara. Like, man, come on, man. Let's do what we've been wanting this team to do for I don't know how long. And let's get out of our own way. right? Let's stop allowing the referees to you know what I'm saying, screw us over and over again. Let's let's start taking advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. Like, let's get away from the excuses, man. I don't like sounding like the Cowboys and Falcons. Okay, we talk and laugh at them because they always making excuses. I don't want to be like that, man. I want this team to win. That's all. Take it, like, it'll be one like Slim. It'll be one thing if this team just wasn't good. Like, we could come on this show and be like, man, we rebuilding, man. We got this, like, man, we got this potential. We can get there one day, but we got weapons all over the place, right? All up under the table. You know what I'm saying? All on the nightstand. We deep, right? You know what I'm saying? We deep. So we should be able to not get in our own way. It seemed like they looked at what the Philadelphia Eagles did last year and they replicated that, because people was like, man, why they out here trying to get Linval Joseph? Why they getting Ndamukong Suh? Man, why they out here getting James Bradbury? Because they knew if somebody was to go down, which CD Deuce did, James Bradbury came right in and they had the same level of production. You have to, like, teams have to learn from each other. They call it a copycat league for a reason. And they did they did the same thing. So you created depth for yourself. I don't want to hear any excuses. And I'm happy about that, Slim, because they can no longer feed the narrative of Dennis Allen could possibly be what we need him to be. No, if you can't get it done with this, you can't. You never will. You never will, man.
Right.
You got anything else, Slim?
Just a quick fact. I'm gonna say this. No matter what, if you black and gold, I'm rooting for you. I'm cheering for you. I want to see you succeed. But however, if you're not getting the job done, we gotta find somebody that will. And let's go. Who that? That's all I gotta say.
Hey, man.
It's all dog around this mug.
Man, hey, man, it's all dogs around here, man. If you're a puppy, go home. We don't roll with you, man. Look, you black and gold, we gonna support you, but we don't want you on the field. We want some dogs.
It's all dog around this mug.
And we definitely don't want no cold motors.
No cold motors.
No cold motors.
No cold motors, man. Straight much, man. Appreciate the call.
Man, I love to you, TJ, bro. Keep doing your thing. Congrats on 10K. I've been supporting you for forever.
I know,
and
man.
Keep doing your thing, and let's get you to a meal. Can we get you to a meal?
That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me, man. But can't get to a meal without 10,000, man. And thank you for being one of them 10,000, man. Appreciate that. Much love to you, man.
Much love to you, TJ. Who that? Let's go.
Yeah. Man, shouts out to Slim South, man. Look, shouts out to everybody that subscribed. And shouts out to everybody that subscribed tonight. Man, we got 192 people watching this podcast right now. It's 10:34 Eastern Standard Time out here, man. Man, hit that like button, okay? Hit that like button. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Hope everybody's enjoying the new content, the videos, right? Due to my schedule now, you know what I'm saying, it's much easier for me to do like pre-recorded shows. We still gonna be doing live shows, but definitely wanted to bring a different element to the table this season, because it gives me opportunity to create content no matter what, right? And I hope everybody's enjoying it. I've been getting a lot of positive responses about the new format. Definitely going to be doing more shows like that in the future. Some people say they don't like the sound bites, too doggone bad. We having fun. But we're just having a good time. And if you think that I'm about to get rid of this one,
oh my God,
you are out your mind. But thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. You can check out previous episodes that are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. Also, you can follow me on X, not me on X, but X as in Twitter, at TJAY Jones 8. And also on Facebook.com, you can check out Gumbo Pot Sports Podcast. And I hope everybody's enjoying the articles of GumboPotSports.com as well. Once again, GumboPotSports.com. All right, we just put out an article about some of the things we saw in week 1. I ask that you all share it. It's a new publication, so the more people that share it and put it out there, the bigger it can become. So asking for your support on that as well. Till next time, All I gotta say is, who that? And let me find that out. And we out.
Praise God, bro.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.